Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Divine Messages podcast. My name is Karina, and I am a psychic medium out of Calgary, Alberta. I have a beautiful guest coming on the podcast with me today, and I'm so excited for her to share her journey with all of you. So, everyone, please help me welcome Stacey to the podcast. Stacey, hi. How are
Hi,
you?
Karina. Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm happy that you're on here with me today. I feel like I've known you forever. I know that's something I say to you a lot, but I do. I feel like I've met you before in another lifetime, and you just happen to be one of the students who has had an incredible journey. And I really wanted to share it with everybody else who might be going on this path themselves.
Yeah, it's been really amazing since I met you, and it hasn't been that long, but definitely felt a connection from the first time you did a reading for me.
And let's take everybody back in time to actually how we met, because to be honest, I meet so many people per day, but I forget how we end up meeting because it becomes such a beautiful friendship that it just feels effortless and I can't go back to the beginning. It's just like doesn't register for me somehow.
Well, no, and it wouldn't, because it maybe didn't have the same effect on you as it did on me. But I started following you during COVID, and I believe it was on Facebook. I think there was a friend of mine that was following you, and you were pulling cards for people. And I don't know if you remember that.
I
Um,
don't, but I used to pull cards every Friday night for
yeah,
hundreds of people. Then I couldn't do it anymore. It was too much. But
right. So you were pulling cards, or sometimes you'd put cards up. And then I think once I said, yeah, pull for me. And you actually did pull cards for me. And I was amazed and thought they were so relevant. And I just sort of started following you on Facebook. And then I started listening to your podcasts for a while. And then my mom passed away 3 years ago, which I was okay with her passing away and with death. It was just more the way she passed. And I think I lost a lot of faith.
hmm
Um, it was pretty tragic, and it was, I would say, a painful death. And I just thought there would be more. So I kind of lost my way a little bit with trusting God or having faith. And I decided a year ago that I was going to book a reading with you. I just was like, okay, I'm going to book a reading with you. And I had no expectations of how it would go. I've been to see a medium once, actually, with my mom when I was early 20s, and then maybe once later than that, a few years later. But the first one was a great experience, and then haven't really had one since. And then that's how we met. We did a FaceTime, and you gave me a reading, and that changed everything for me.
Wow. Has it only really been a year, Stacey? Really?
It's
There's
only,
no
it feels
way.
like 10.
That just shocked me. I was like, there's no way. I feel like it's been years that we've known each other. That's
I know.
crazy, but okay. Wow. And in that reading, of course, you know that I don't remember
No.
really anything, but I'm assuming that she came forward and
Well,
validated that she existed somewhere
he
else.
did, but what was the funny thing is, so somebody else came forward first, and it was somebody I was not expecting at all. Somebody I hadn't thought about for years, somebody that passed in high school that I was close friends with. And you brought him forward, and I think that that really is what I needed, because that blew my mind, because no one really knew except maybe my family and friends at the time about this person's passing. And I hadn't really thought about it too much. And you said that my mom couldn't come through until I had a bit of healing. And I think he came through, my grandma came through. At the very end, my mom came through. And you had said in my reading, "Oh, you do this. Oh, you're a medium. You're a healer." And I
Hmm
remember looking at you like, "What are you talking about? No, I'm coming to you." Like,
That's
I thought
funny.
you were good at this. I'm like, "No."
Maybe you're not
And
so good
then
after all.
I'm like, "Maybe you're not so good at this." And you said, "Oh, you should do Reiki." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do Reiki." And you're like, "You should do it, even if you just do it so you can do Reiki on your girls." And as soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay. Sounds
Yeah,
good."
time me up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then I didn't really think much about it. And then you messaged me the next day, I believe, and you said, "You're out of town. What day do you want to come in September? Pick one of these days." And I had just been thinking about Reiki and you when I walked out the door. You messaged me. I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And I'm like, "Okay, this day." And then it was just sort of a done deal. I was coming in a couple of months to do Reiki, and then everything opened up. And even before we did Reiki, things had started happening. And I was just, yeah, it just changed everything for me.
Wow. I wish that I could go back and remember everybody's journeys, like especially the students, because I think it's magical and beautiful how spirit orchestrates it all. But with yours, first of all, I definitely don't remember the guy coming forward in your reading. I thought it was your mom. Um, and sometimes I say to everybody when they come to me for a reading, it is not what you want. It is always what you need. And a lot of times people come forward that we are least expecting. And it's because they know that we A, have to heal something, or B, they can see things that they know that we need from the other side and they're there to help us.
Hmm.
And I think even, your journey coming to do Reiki, I definitely don't remember messaging you because I usually don't do that to students and say, hey, by the way, are you going to come? It's, hey, this is what spirit says and you decide. Let the spirits guide you, but they must have pushed you because you do have a big purpose and you were kind of not putting it off, but just not recognizing it. And then they just said, here, let's go. And I love where you are today because I even come to you and say, "Hey, Stacey, what do you feel about this?" Which I don't do that with a lot of people because I'm very particular and guarded, and especially being the teacher, I guess. I just, there's only a couple of people that I would bother to ask for some help for something, and you're definitely one of them. So that tells me everything.
Well, it's been such a blessing and it's given me such purpose. And I think, you and I have talked, and I didn't really realize that this has always been a part of my life. It was maybe a part that I put away or shut away because I had so much fear surrounding what this meant. And
Hmm.
then having my mom pass and having the reading and going to Reiki and then being able to see things in a different light and to know that we're surrounded by love and light and that everything we do and that our loved ones aren't really gone. And that
Hmm.
if we could see everyone walking around us and with us through life, we wouldn't have so much fear. And it brought me back to faith, really, and trusting. And you did that as well, so much with your classes and how you teach Reiki. And um, it's just been such a beautiful experience. And I just feel so grateful that I get to try to help others the best way that I can, depending upon what they need and who comes to me. And I've learned so much. And also, you've built such an amazing community with the class that we do. It's such a safe place to be, and it's so nice to have other people that we can relate to and talk to and practice with.
And that's one of the things that I think I like the most is people come to me, they do their Reiki, which is a very short class, right? But
Mhm.
basically, I'm not necessarily teaching you Reiki. I'm unlocking the door for you to remember that you've done this before. And then after Reiki, a lot of the students decide to come and take the mediumship classes, which we do every 2 weeks on Zoom. So there's students in the States, across Canada, on the East Coast, West Coast. I mean, we're so lucky that we have the best group of students that are there for each other and genuinely love and care for one another. It's a beautiful thing. That's why I love teaching so much because it's my safe place to come every 2 weeks to watch you guys all unfold and rediscover who you are. It's amazing.
Oh, it's been such a journey, and the community is one of the things that I love the most. I think I've always been lacking that sense of community and having all these people that bring so many different perspectives and ideas to class, and everybody's so welcoming, and it is a safe place. It's a beautiful place, and we've learned so much from you, like so many different things, and I can't believe how far I've come with trusting. And that, I mean, that's one of the biggest things I believe that you've tried to instill in us is just to trust and surrender, and spirit will lead you.
You want to know something really funny? This is going back to my journey when I first started. I was you. I was scared of my own shadow. I was terrified
Oh
of the
yeah,
other side. I didn't want anything to do with ghosts, spirits, nothing, because I grew up in
nothing.
that haunted house and I saw them since I was a kid. And I have very, very vivid memories of that. And so when I started doing Reiki, I remember saying to Durek at one point, who was my Reiki master, I'm like, you know what? I'll do Reiki. I love energy work. This is great, but I don't want anything to do with spirits. And so he just kind of chuckled. He was like, mm-hmm. So then I I just remember going through some crazy experiences at the beginning and I called him over to my house. I was like, you need to come over and help me. And he knew I was so scared. I was like, come smudge my house, clear my house. There's all this like activity here and it's freaking me out. And he's like, well, you need to come with me. So he forced me to go around the house. I don't say forced, but he made me go around the house. He's like, no, you're coming with me. You're going to do this with me. And I was like, okay. I was terrified. Oh my God, Stacey, if I could go back and tell you, that night was just so scary for me. But he brought me around the house and he's like clearing and he's like, well, what do you see? And I was like, well, I kind of see this woman and I described a few things and he's like, you see them, Karina, you're already communicating with them. You don't need to be afraid. You just need
Aw.
to, you know, understand that they know that you can see. And I'm like, what? No, no. And I was trying to shut the door and he's like looking at me going, you're already doing it. So just lose the fear and then everything will fall into place. And I did not want to be a medium. That is something that I tell everyone. I've said it many times on the podcast. I had no desire to talk to the other side.
Well, and that's so funny because I always thought it would be really cool. I mean, my kids and I, we would always watch shows and everything, but at the same token, totally terrified if I saw like my own shadow or heard something, and I'd be like, "No, thank you. I'm not interested in this."
Please go
Um,
away. I
you'd
pretend
like,
it doesn't
please,
exist.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, nope, not here, not now. And then I remember clearly before I started Reiki with you, I think that summer, I felt like I did see somebody, and it was very clear, but it scared me because I'm like, what is this? And I thought I had a headache and I couldn't shake this image. And I kept
Hmm.
getting signs and I kept asking for more signs. And it was so overwhelming. And I remember like getting a migraine and I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know what this is. And this is before I understood it. And this is before we did more classes or before I even had Reiki to understand a little bit of what did this mean. And now I'm looking back on that thinking, oh my gosh, how blessed am I that this happened?
Right? I look at it too like that. Imagine we didn't have those experiences. We wouldn't be doing the work that we're doing today. And I think fear is, gosh, fear. I could go on and on about fear, but it stands for false evidence appearing real. And your mind can trick you and spirits can trick you and all that negative stuff. But if we know that this work is going to help someone else, we have to do it because it's what we came here for. And again, you could do the same. You were doing the same thing, almost ignoring it like I was. La la la, I hear nothing.
Yeah.
Um, but then once we say, okay, I guess it's okay, then they start to flood in and it's like, oh my God, I can hear them loud and clear. I can see them crystal clear. It's crazy. I think that's why I love teaching so much because I went through the experiences that you all did with that fear. I didn't want this. I didn't think that this was going to be my career, if you want to call it that. I just wanted to run from it. I wanted to pretend that nothing out there existed because I was so fearful. And then when I learned how to stay in the light and bring forward the divine, everything was so beautiful that I couldn't deny doing the work. And then I didn't want to teach. That's something that wasn't even in my cards or so I thought that's the control factor. But I heard Spirit say loud and clear one day, Karina, what you learn, you will teach. And I thought, these people are crazy on the other side. I don't know what they're talking about. And here I am loving being a teacher because I know what it's like to go through those dips of fear and faith and fear and faith. And when you come out on the faith side and you stay there, life really changes. It's wonderful.
Well, it does. And also the classes and you teaching, it's us understanding what we're getting and how we're getting it. And we're all so different. And we all get information differently, the different clairs, and understanding how to interpret that information. And, I was afraid of not doing it right. I was totally afraid of saying the wrong thing, or, I didn't want to upset anybody, or I didn't want to give them information and them say, oh, that's wrong. And I don't believe that. And the more you lean into faith and trust and do it with some joy and have some fun as well, and just let it be. And you've always said to, let it go. The more accurate the information is, the more the person understands what you're saying, the more you understand what you're receiving. And
Right.
that has been the journey as well. And I think that's been so important in your teaching is to show us, how we need to trust and we need to say, and then just let it go. And, people will get what they need from your readings when they're ready.
Hmm.
And you've always said that people will come to you specifically. And if they do, you need to trust that spirit led them to you and that you will receive the information that you need to give to them in the right time.
Always. And I think that's one of the things that I get asked a lot from a client is, well, what if I book an appointment and nothing comes through or there's no one there for me? And I say, look, that is never how this works. If you were guided to me, I can't talk about other healers or other psychics. I really don't know, but I've experienced over all of these years that I've done this work that if someone was guided to me, it's because their spirit guides and loved ones guided them to come to me because they know I can hear and see them. So if they show up and they book an appointment, this is not in their hands. It's not in my hands. It's in spirit's hands. And I've haven't had that happen yet that nobody's shown up for someone or there wasn't a message. So I think that's important for everybody to understand that this is out of our hands completely. It's in the other side's hands. They
It
take
is.
over.
It is. And it's well, being new to this, so only having done this for maybe less than a year, there are times where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's nerve-wracking. Like, am I going to be able to deliver what they need? And then like I feel like I'm a baby still learning, or a toddler maybe. I'm not too sure, but I'm just like waddling through this a little bit and I'm still learning. And that's why I love going to the classes because, we can practice on each other, but um, divine timing and allowing things to be and trusting the universe and like all those things you've taught us and a lot of the things that I've done on my own and learned on my own time have really
Hmm.
grounded me and my life is completely different. And I think the people that are really close to me can see that. And I am more grounded and I have less fear in every area of my life, just trusting that, my children are protected and they're looked after. And I talk to my mom all the time. And I feel that I get things from her and she communicates back to me. And it's such a comforting feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I think that once you are aware that there is something so much greater than us in this physical realm out there, and how surrounded we are with all of these amazing souls, I think it just helps us to not feel so alone. And even though bad things can happen and things, it's
Yeah.
life, it's part of the lessons that we have to go through, but it's how we respond to those bad things happening that really is the most important because we can get through anything knowing that we're not alone. And I just really wish everybody could understand that. I've had, my life, I've had a lot of crazy things happen. And there were times where I lost my faith over and over and over. And yet I somehow kept bouncing back because I do understand that there's something or that I need to go through these lessons. I had to go through the hard things in order to be the teacher that I was destined to be. I
Hmm.
couldn't, how could I be teaching all of you if I didn't have the experience, right?
Hmm. Well, and you just want everybody else to have the same experience that you have. So, when you gave me that reading and it did change things for me with how I experienced death and um, just knowing that my mom was still there. I mean, you're an amazing medium and psychic, and your information is so accurate, and the things that you can say to someone, and that's what we all want for everybody to experience. I want everybody to have that experience because it's so healing and it allows you to move through life differently.
I think it does, and that's why I think, again, teaching for me is one of the greatest things for me in this life. I just can't say enough about teaching. And the reason is I guess I've gone to other psychic mediums, and I can't say that I haven't. And I've sat there with them, and they have been quite vague. Oh, your dad misses you. And I'm like, that's wonderful. I love to hear that. That's amazing. But I want more. I want proof. I am very skeptical because I've had some poor experiences. And so I want it to be so accurate and validating for someone that they can leave a reading after 60 or 90 minutes without any doubt that that was their loved one. And that's why I
Mhm.
want to teach all of you to do that. And I push you hard. I know I do.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
no, sorry. I push you hard, but only because I know what you're all capable of. And if I didn't believe in you all so much, I wouldn't be pushing like that.
Well, and yeah, it's amazing. And to watch, I mean, if you could remember my first class, and you won't remember, there's so many students in and out of classes. I was so nervous and so terrified. And I mean, all of us we're all hesitant to share. And now, the last few classes we've been doing, people have been giving readings and amazing information.
I
And
know.
it's been so amazing to watch everybody. And I get I think I get overexcited for everybody because I'm like, good job. And like, we did it. And like,
Yeah. But
we're all so proud of each other. And
yes, there's so
it's
much love.
there is so much love, and it's so exciting to go to these classes to see what's going to happen. And I'm not afraid to go to them anymore. I'm excited, whereas before I would get a sick stomach and a headache, and I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? What is she going to make us try to do? And yeah, it's just such a change, and to watch everybody else in the class too has just been such a gift.
You are now all in the advanced class, and I've watched you all evolve. And to me, I'm like this proud mama who's like, oh my God, look at what they're doing. I think it was the last class that we were in, the information that everybody was getting was beyond accurate, things that it's impossible that anybody could know. And I sat there just like, and here we are. This is why we're doing this, because then you guys get that confidence and you can take that into your sessions with people and help them to validate those things that nobody in the world could possibly know. I'm definitely one of those people who needs solid validation and proof because I have had experiences where I just felt like they might have been pulling at straws or strings, or however you say that, where
Yep.
I want someone to come right to me and say, this information is only something that you could know, nobody else could know, because that's the only way that I'm going to believe that the other side exists.
And that's what's so good about in class, because we actually practice that. And you teach us, or you remind us to say, ask for more, ask for something different, something only that person would know. And when you do ask for it, you do receive. And it's a practice. It's remembering to ask for those things when someone comes to you. I mean, this is all new to a lot of us, right? So, and when
Yeah,
it does happen, it's so amazing, because when I've done this a lot for friends or a few people that have come to me, but when you say something that only they can know, and you think, this is really weird, like, why am I talking about those little dolls that are stacked inside of each other? Or why am I saying tchotchke? Or why am I like mentioning pistachio ice cream, or whatever it is that's
exactly.
so foreign to you? And then they start to cry, or they're like, that's, I know what that is. Then you just feel like, okay, you can just keep going and you can give them more, right? And then
It's
then
true.
it
Mhm.
opens up so much more in them. So they start to feel that sense of light within.
And I think that's important that when we start opening up as mediums, once we have a little bit of validation for ourselves, not just the client or the sitter, it's for
Mhm.
ourselves that we're like, oh my God, I did see that correctly. It helps us to trust. And then we just keep trusting, trusting, trusting. And then it's like it builds over the time frame because even when I went to classes, I tell all of you guys, I am not shy about saying it. I did my Reiki. Yes, I was quite strong at doing energy work and seeing things while I did energy work. But when it came time to go to these mediumship classes, and there were like 20 of us in a room with Durek at his house, and there was men and women, and I'm always afraid to feel stupid or feel that I'm not good enough because I struggled with self-worth. I still sometimes do. And
Mhm.
so I sat there in a group of 20 something people and he would give us these exercises like you guys do in class. And God, I was wrong every single time, Stacey. I was like, maybe I don't have this. I don't think I should be here. And I wanted to quit. I really didn't want to go back. I can't tell you how many times I was wrong. And yet, every damn week, something would pull me back to this class. And I was like, why am I even here? And then all of a sudden, one day it clicked and it was like, oh my God, I could see the other side so clearly. Like, how could I have been in my head before? It was just my ego was in the way of the fear of being wrong.
Yeah, and I think most of us are pretty excited. We want to get to that point where we just completely trust. And I mean, I've never said I'm a medium or psychic. That's not some words that I've used on myself, but
Yet.
when we start getting things
Yeah,
yet, but it's exciting. And I think that's why, I mean, I don't think I've missed maybe one class since they've started, just because I just want to keep going and I want to practice. And I don't know, it's so much fun now too, because you give a gift to somebody else, but you're receiving it as well.
it's so
So, and
rewarding. Yeah.
it is so rewarding. And I feel like for me, I just didn't know what my purpose was going to be. My kids have moved away from home and I'm divorced. And I always knew I wanted to help people. And I was like, do I need to go back and get my master's in psychology? I didn't know what to do. And this is just showing me a new path that I didn't think was possible for myself. And I love it so much that how could that be wrong?
And that's what I say to everyone. If helping people is wrong, I'm going to be wrong. And I will do this until the day I die. I know that. It's just, it's in me. I've had this desire and need to be of service for many, many years. And here I am loving it so much. I just said that to a family member this morning, how I just, I'm so grateful that I love what I do
Yeah.
so much that I wouldn't change it for anything. As much as I say sometimes it's difficult and oh, maybe I want to quit because it's so hard, because I really get emotional with people and I take on a lot, but I still wouldn't change it. I still know that even on those hard days and the hard readings that I do, because some are really tragic, I still wouldn't change it. I have the ability to hear for someone that's living and to prove that their loved ones are okay and they're existing in a whole other realm. How could I deny anyone of that? How can we as mediums deny what we are able to do?
No, it would be like keeping something to yourself, because being able to share that information with somebody can change their life. It has such a profound effect on people, and until you experience it yourself, it's really hard to describe how it can open your heart up. It opens your soul up. It gives you peace and comfort, and just a knowing that your loved one is okay and things are okay, and life keeps moving forward, and just how blessed we are to be with each other.
I think that's why I was so excited for you to come on here because, yes, you and I are able to hear spirits and we're mediums and that's what we do. But I wanted to also explain that we all have this ability. Yes, some of us are meant to do mediumship for, I don't even want to say a living or a career because this is what we came here for, just like a dentist or a doctor came here. That's what they signed up to go through. So, yes, some of us are meant to do this for others professionally. Now, everyone else, though, we all have this ability within us. And if we could just learn to tap into it, I think everybody's lives would be so much easier knowing that they could check in with their guides and get validation and ask for help with so many things. I think it would be so wonderful. People would be happier. They wouldn't be as lonely and depressed. That's kind of why I wanted to do this episode so that
And I
everybody could
just
know to tap into it.
and everybody can. And when you start telling people, ask for a sign, you need to talk to your loved ones. You just try it. And then people are like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing angel numbers, or oh my goodness, like I'm seeing the butterflies, or I find dimes, or whatever. Someone said to me, I asked Stacey to see a koala bear just because you said ask for whatever, and she started seeing koala bears and she's so excited to tell me, and I was so happy for her. And now she's listening to her intuition more, and there's so many more things are happening for her in her own life, and that just makes me so happy because she has a sense of calm and peace that maybe I hadn't noticed in her before. So it's just an effect that keeps trickling through everybody that you touch, and now she'll share that with her children or her family, and it just keeps moving, and that's what the world needs right now.
We all need that. I swear, I just made a post on Instagram the other day about people being quite negative and mean. And I thought, if we could all just understand that, first of all, we're all here going through our own stuff. We all have trauma. We all have bad things happen to us. But it's how we react to those things and how we treat others that's important. Because I've had terrible things happen to me over my lifetime, and it doesn't give me the right to go and start hurting everyone around me or being cruel because that's not going to help anything,
No.
at all. If we just transmute those negative things and try our best to find our way back to love, that's the most important thing that we could do for this entire world. Now, if we all did it, how wonderful would this world be?
No, it would be amazing. And even if you just started with yourself and with your family and, your children or your friends, you just have to start small, but if you start with yourself and looking for that light, everybody can find some peace or joy each day, whether it's like looking up at the clouds or, going for ice cream or whatever it is, start with something small and it just trickles down throughout your family and friends and it makes a huge difference. And I mean, that was the main reason I even started. You said, just do this for your girls, do Reiki for your girls. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I've got nothing to lose because if I can, do some energy work for my girls or for my friends or family, that's amazing. And if that's all I ever did,
Then
I was fine
great.
with that. Yeah, then great. Then that's perfect. And
Right.
then, and it just keeps coming. So I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed. And I'm lucky that you're my mentor and teacher and friend. And yeah, we all are. So.
It's kind of neat how even what you just said makes such an impact for me because I started this as well for myself. I was in a really dark place and I was just searching for something and I don't even know what that was. I was just so lost and spirit led the way for me. And I went into Reiki saying, "Oh no, no, this is just for me because I just want to feel better. I want to find peace. I want to feel happy again." And
Mhm.
I never in a million years would have thought that this would be my world today, being a medium and doing events and working with people and having a podcast. Like, who would have ever thought? I went into this just for myself because I thought this was going to help me. And it did. It opened up a whole new world for me. It helped me to understand that those bad things that did happen were not for nothing. They were part
No.
of the lessons that I had to go through in order to be who I am today. And I'm still learning, and I will learn probably till the day I pass. But I definitely can look at life in a new light. And I would hope that others, no matter what has happened in their life, can find that light as well, because I think that's where so many people are negative and bitter and they think, well, look what's happened to me. But
Yeah.
I
But they are
understand bad
learning
things
experiences.
happen.
Yeah. They do, and they happen to everybody. Everybody has bad things happen to them. Everybody. Nobody gets away in this lifetime without
No,
going through some sort of trauma. And that's what makes us who we are. That's what gives us empathy. That's what allows us to understand each other. And that's what
yes.
allows us to connect with each other is understanding. And without going through those things, you maybe would not be where you are, and I maybe not be where I am. And it allows me to connect with other people on a different level because I can see what they're going through.
And I wish everybody could understand that the more that you've been hurt, the more love you can give.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, I'm trying. That's why we've got the podcast and we're doing these episodes again. I'm coming back to it because I think there's so many people that are just a little bit lost like I once was. And if you and I can lead the way and some of the other guests that come on here and this podcast, then I'm doing what I feel that I came here to do. And that is important and crucial. And I don't know what else to say. I think it's just, I would love to light the way for many others and hope
And
that
you have,
they
yeah.
can. I hope so.
Oh, you are. And, the universe has our backs, right? There's so much out there that we don't even know, and so many opportunities for us to still stay in faith and keep walking forward because, maybe we don't know. Maybe there's even better things awaiting us that we never even imagined, but we need to stay in that faith.
We
And
do.
you help with that for sure.
A client messaged me the other night and she just lost someone very close to her and she was apparently right with them when they passed. And she reached out and said, Karina, like, I listen to your podcast because it calms my soul and you help me heal. And I just like started to tear up. I was like, me? I
Yeah,
I
you.
help you during this, like
Yeah.
this podcast is helping you. And that's
No,
why we're starting again.
it helped I listened to it before I even came to you, and I think I started practicing healing with green light because you said Archangel Raphael used green light
Yes,
or was green. And
yes,
that's what I would do on my own. I didn't know Reiki. I would just sit there and imagine green light on people. And that, that was before everything. And that's something that you taught to people, throughout your podcast, you give them little tidbits. People can pick and choose what they need to take in. But
right.
that's what I love so much about the podcast is that there's so much for everybody.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. And that's where I took that long break and I decided to come back because I had many people reach out to me telling me it's helped them so much. And I thought, how can I not? It's like kind of like what we just said about being a medium. How can I not pursue this if this is really truly helping others? Then I have to. I have to make the time. I have to just put my whole heart and soul into it again. And here we are. And I'm grateful that you were willing to come on here and share your journey about all of this because I think a lot of people need to know that it's not just about becoming a medium or a psychic. It's about opening up your heart and soul to having faith that something out there exists. And if we can tap into that, all of us, we can
Mm-hmm.
live a much better life because we can get through those hard times knowing that we've got someone there from the other side to help pick us back up.
Yeah, we do. We have somebody, there's always someone around us. We're never alone.
We aren't alone.
I don't know. There's just so many people. And I just feel like the world is hurting right now so badly, right? With so much. And they just need to know that they have it within themselves. They don't need to look outward. And then, yeah, I
Go
don't
with
know.
go within and heal your life, heal what needs to be healed and go and try to live your best life, right? None
And
of
then
us
go
can
see
control the
Karina because
future.
then she can save you. And then go see Karina
They're more than
because,
welcome
like,
to come.
well, yeah, because people still need to see you because I don't know. I don't think if I saw anybody else, it would have been the same for me with my mom. It
Aw.
wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been. No, Karina, because her death was very painful and it was painful to watch. And I was begging people to help her die. It was a
Oh,
different
God.
experience for me. I had to ask people daily, nurses and doctors, like what forms do I need? Like, and she would be begging me to let her die, to help her die every 10 minutes. Can I be done? Is this over yet? And it was just so traumatic for me. And you really like I was able to release that, and that was really, really
Yeah,
hard. Like I had, I think, post-traumatic stress disorder from it, but you really,
absolutely.
but yeah, going to you knowing that she's good and she's watching everybody, like I was able to release that. I could not have done that with somebody else, I don't think. So,
Well, your mom chose me. I always say there's so many
oh
mediums out
yes,
there, but they
oh I
choose the
know,
one that they feel
no,
that you will
because
trust.
she would have loved you. Like I know she would have loved you, and I know that she pointed me in your direction, and I know that's why that boy came through first, Hiroshi, because I don't know if I would have necessarily, if my mom just came through, if I would have trusted that. So I
Wow.
think he came. I know he came through first because she knew of him. I like not no one really. My sister knows about him. I don't think my ex-husband, my kids, no one knew about him.
Oh my
So
God.
that's why he came through first. So that when
Crazy.
he came through, so when she came through after, I knew.
You could trust it. They do the
Yeah.
craziest things. They will give you things that nobody could possibly know.
Oh,
And I always say that in every reading that I do. I say, look, they will take me around their house that they had to their furniture and where their pictures are on the
oh, you're
walls and
so good at
everything.
that. Yeah,
Well, but they do that because they want to prove without a doubt that it's them, that couldn't Google it, that I couldn't look it
I
up.
know.
There's
Well,
things that you just, yeah,
that's why the class, because I want to get to that point. I want to get to the point where yeah, I want to do it so badly.
and
It's
you
just
are.
I kind of, but I'm not
Yeah.
there yet. I'm getting there, and I just want to trust, and I want to get clear information. I can't wait. Like I'm excited. Yeah.
That's what we'll do. We're getting there. And
I
it took me
know.
that practice as well, but you're almost there. Like you're there because I ask you for guidance. So that tells me everything. So just
Aw,
trust some more and
yes.
let's see what these next few classes
I
entail because we've
know. I'm
got one
so
coming
excited.
up this week. So I can't wait as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
It's gonna be so good.
Well, I want to thank you all so much for joining Stacey and I today on the Divine Messages podcast. Stacey, thank you again for coming on here and being so open and honest about your journey. I know it's not always easy to come on a podcast and share your life, but I think other people will really benefit from understanding what you had to say and what we talked about today.
Well, thanks for having me on, Karina.
If you would like to book a reading with me, I can be reached at www.divinemessages.ca or on Instagram at the Divine Messages Podcast or at Divine Messages 333. Please bear in mind that the perspectives and opinions represented in this podcast are based solely on the Divine Messages interpretations. We can in no way be held responsible for the actions of our followers.